Okay, guys. Hi there, Shauna. So tonight I'm just continuing with all of the readings for the signs for their love blocks. So tonight we're going to do Virgo and try and get through Leo if we can. So I'm going to start right off the bat with the Virgo female single. Forgive me if I'm looking over here because my screen and my camera are in two different places. So I've already pre-shuffled. I'm just going to get to it. The decks I'll go over later. So yeah, the Virgo female single. I'm going to start off with the romance card. And the first card I get for the female single is the Nine of Coins. So the Nine of Coins is about a solid, firm, grounded relationship. Now, if we're talking about a single, we may be talking about someone in your midst here who may have the potential to be a partner, but as of yet may not be. So that's the energy there. The next card I get is 21, the World, and it can symbolize completions, it can symbolize distance, and in this case I think there is a bit of a distance here between, I feel like this is a potential mate. Not too sure why they're jumping forward, backward like this. Yeah, just give me a minute. You may have a situation where you're going back to someone that you came from, meaning you may have a relationship that you're splitting from, you're single from at this point, but you may be going back to that in the future. And I don't know, I think there might be a little bit of a gap before you get there, but nonetheless, I feel like this is something, because I was saying, do I go back or do I go forward? And they're like, both. So a situation where we have someone here who is a very grounded, and if we're not in a quote-unquote relationship, then we're definitely into a phase where we're dipping into someone here that is very grounded as a friend, very rooted in our life as a friend, and we may be going back there or with benefits as well. But I feel like a good, I feel more of a friendship, honestly, that may have gone across that line a little bit. So the Messenger card I get to describe that is heed the messengers. Now, usually that's having to do with intuition, learning to use our intuition and understand that there are things that are trying to be illuminated, and we need to listen to that. And I feel like that has to do with this connection. Now, if you're picking up on someone and going, oh yeah, where there's a past and a future connection here, or a possible future connection, then 10 to 1, that's who we're dealing with. So heed the messenger is really kind of giving you the right to slow down and take note of what's coming in that way, because we need to listen to that advice that's coming through. And I feel like we're hearing it, but we may not be acting on any of that stuff that's coming in. So when we get into the tarot cards, the King of Wands is what comes forward. So this may be the man that you've dealt with, will deal with, one and the same, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius male that's coming in. And I feel like he's strong and sturdy, and very much in a point where you are like reliable. He's reliable to you, for you, all of it. So very much a trustworthy soul here that you're dealing with. Okay, now it's interesting because we get the Queen of Cups. So if we look at this couple, at this pairing, okay, this really doesn't have, because you're not an earth you are an earth, but you are not a water or a fire. So it's interesting that we got here a fire and an earth, or a fire and a water, sorry. So it's interesting. There's nothing here that matches. So we may have a situation here because I see that the male is turned away. Like these two are basically turned away from each other, but I feel like this is maybe where he went. Okay, I feel like you may have had a break because someone was going to deal with something. Maybe it was to put it to rest once and for all. I don't know. I feel like the scenario here is this male is trying to deal with a situation, is maybe needing time to do so. And in the meantime, you guys take a break or decide to see other people or whatever. But there's someone of interest here, a water sign, that doesn't seem to have an interest in him, but nonetheless, there's a connection there. So it may be, you know, they may have strings there with children or whatnot. So whatever that is, I guess they have to deal with that. Now the card I get, the messenger card I get on top of that is do not fear. Do not fear the unknown. So that really has to do with things that can get jumbled up. I mean, that's anything really. But for the most part, I feel it has to do with the Virgo female. I think you may have some thoughts in your mind racing about, oh, that's it, that's the end of it. But I think there is a potential here to come back to what you had. Like I said, if this is the same energy, I'm feeling like it's the same energy. But we'll continue on, okay? So do not fear the unknown. Is don't, how do you say, count your chickens, whatever. Try not to jump to conclusions too much. Just deal with things at face value. This guy's trustworthy and good for his word, so you just have to be patient and wait on that. That's really what it is. I feel like we're getting ready to jump off a cliff here, and there's no need to do that. Meaning, we're figuring that this guy has gone off in a different direction because he's not caring or whatever, but there's a lot of caring here and a lot of basis for a foundation, and it's not just going to go away easily. So be aware of that. I feel like that energy, no matter if it's someone from the past or someone that comes back, it's very solid and grounded. So we don't have to worry about that. Like floating off and never coming back, that kind of thing. That's the fear I feel. So the next card I get is the Devil. So the Devil, right? Okay, these are like opposing forces here. Because we have Heed the Messengers is kind of like listening to the angel on your shoulder. It's light, it's blue, and then the Devil is really symbolizing all of those negative things that run through our mind, right? And so we have to not let that take over. And then the Hanged Man, so really symbolizing that hang time that you got between this. So I do feel it is something that you're going back to. And though I don't know that you are convinced of that, I feel like you think he's gone, that's it, I'm done. You know, you've kind of got a negative attitude towards things. But nonetheless, I feel like this perspective either needs to change in you or will change because that person is going to come back and make it change. Hold on. Chair. Okay, so the Hanged Man just symbolizing that need for a different perspective, right? Because we're in the negative here and we need to get back into the positive because it's really not going to do us any good to just focus on that. So the first card, or the next card I get on top of those two is Embrace the Masculine. So that's really that voice saying, okay, let's not go AWOL on this guy. Just keep it in mind as an option because I feel very grounded and secure. And when you have the Nine of Pentacles here, things aren't going nowhere. Like this guy's solid, sturdy, and though he may not chatter or he may not communicate or there may be a little bit of a distance in that way, I feel like he's really just bearing down and getting things done that he needs to get done. And I feel like there's some finalizations here that need to happen. And as interesting as that is, we may have a situation where there's a married couple or was married, maybe a divorced couple, where there's some things going on that need to be settled, and he can't afford to be in a relationship while that goes down, so he's going to go deal with that and then come back and make everything okay. You know, so this is really the energy I'm getting from these two, is this is a past couple that are not seeing eye to eye. I mean, they're back to back, so they're nowhere near eyesight. You know, nobody's looking at each other, so they're not, you know, it'd be different if it was this way. Very different, because then she'd be offering and he'd be receiving, but it's this way. So there's no sense here for either one of them. They're both looking in different directions, you know. And he's looking to the past to solve all his problems here. He wants to go forward in the future, and he needs to settle that. So the love card we get for the Virgo female single is demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. And though I feel like you may not have anyone, obviously, right? Because we're doing this single. So you may not have anyone that's really in your midst, but be demonstrative in a loving way. And especially when it comes to this direction, don't be cynical, because that's really the word they gave me, cynical about it. Just try and keep a positive attitude. And if you don't, then just kind of avoid it altogether, because we don't want to be creating havoc. Because I feel like this is really a rough time for the male, the partner, to go through. And it's not going to make it easier, the stress on him. It's not going to make it easier if it comes from you. So be demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. And if that person that you love and care for is not around, I feel like this has been discussed on a certain level. I feel like the Virgo female got the 411 and was okay. Yeah, everything's fine. But then all of a sudden the doubts creeped in. The time and the distance was a little more than she expected. So now it's becoming harder, and she's just thinking, well, it's better to just drop it than have an expectation that might not be met here with him coming back or not having the patience, that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. Now, your block is the happiness and probably the positivity, but it says surrender to joy. Key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times, and keep surrendering to more joy. So I do feel a sense of frustration and not sadness, but anger, and almost like mad, you know, like, so yeah, there's something a little off there. It just needs to be adjusted. Embrace the joy that you have. Maybe don't have, but kind of try and create that so that you can move forward more smoothly. And then it will just be an acceptance when it comes back around, you know. And I don't feel like it'll be too long. I was given like 3 months, is something that was floating around here. So that could be when things officially start reconnecting, okay? That kind of a thing. So seems like your block here is joy. It's kind of in an anger center and not being able to be happy about things, everyday things. So if you surrender to that, you'll have an easier time with things, and they're saying it'll actually create more energy to make this go quicker in a better way. So hopefully that helps. So that's the Virgo female in a single relationship. Hey, Sherry. Sorry, my camera's over here, my thing, so I don't see everybody. Probably said hi right away, and I'm avoiding here. Okay, so I'm on to the Virgo female female couple. So mind my shuffling. It takes me a while here. Of course, I'm doing it in different places all the time, so that doesn't help. Okay. Next. Okay. So Virgo female in a couple's relationship. This is the next one coming up. How's it going, Sherry? How's the weather out there in Manitoba? Still chilly here, man. We get like plus 13 and then, or minus 13, and then it'll go down to minus 30. So there's nothing really great. Hoping I have a decent, yeah, I know, it's freaking cold here too. Spring will be nice, will be enjoyed quite immensely. I went for a walk today, but it wasn't too bad. The wind was down, so that's a good thing. Okay. Virgo female couple, Virgo female couple. I'm coming up on Leo. You're Leo, right? I'm coming up on Leo here in the next hour, hopefully. I'm going to try and go through these. Try not to repeat myself. I find myself repeating. Okay, Virgo female. Yeah, I know everybody's getting back from Arizona, Mexico, Florida, everywhere. That's nice and sunny. It's kind of a bummer coming back to this stuff when it's not quite done yet. But that's the way she goes, I guess. Okay. Alrighty, last shuffle. And we're ready here for the Virgo female in a couple's relationship. See what's going on with her. I'm going to unwrap some things here. Maybe blocking some progress. You know, I'm getting a feedback from people, I don't know, from mind reading or whatever, about why do you have to do love blocks for couples? Well, you may be going well, quite good in a couple, but there may be some things that can gain you some better energy, but you're just kind of stagnant. So that's really why, because there's always room for improvement, right? But some people like to stay status quo. So I wanted to answer that. I got that energy through one of the readings I did before. I was like, yeah, that's kind of a good question, or good, even though it wasn't officially asked. It was a good energy link I got caught up with. Okay, so Virgo female couple. Here we go. The first card we get for the Virgo female is the Four Cups. And the Four Cups is about bending over backwards. Usually this is the partner, right? But I get a sense here that it's kind of the female. The female Virgo, she's kind of accommodating her partner quite a bit. Yeah, it's the partner. She's really working. I don't know, I'm feeling almost like there's an amends here that she's trying to make, but nonetheless, bending over backwards for her partner. So that's the energy that she may be sitting at. Then we have 20, Judgment. And that's really listening to instinct and hearing the call. It's like you've had an itch here to do something, and now you're finally flowing with that. Okay, so not too sure if that's the accommodating or part of the process here. that we're dipping into. Really, maybe just attending to your partner, period, paying more attention in that way to your partner, because there may have been a time here where we were glossing over everything in the relationship and not spending any time, and may have had a partner that blew over this, said, you know, I don't get enough of your time schedule, da da da, you know, that kind of a thing. So not only have we heard that from our own inner voice, but we've heard it from our partner, and I feel like that's part of what we're trying to be mindful of at this point. So the messenger card I get on top of that is let the emotions flow. So having to do with a lot of unraveling, unloading of, well, they're going communication, period, because we've not had a lot of time to sit and talk and chat. A lot of busyness here and there, back and forth, but not connecting at any time, and maybe at home, but not connecting to each other. So there's a lot of communication, and letting the emotions flow is really just an extension of trying to get into that compassion area, especially when dealing with the partner. And I feel like they're trying to come from that. The Virgo female is trying very hard to come from that. She knows that that's what's needed here. So it's not like she got smacked and she's kind of reluctantly coming in. No, she's coming in because she knows that she needs to do that, right? So that's the energy at the head here of everything. When I get into the tarot cards, you get the Knight of Pentacles. No. Interesting. The Knight of Pentacles, like this is your sign, right, Earth? So let me just look. Yeah. You may also have an Earth partner or someone that's slow, steady, and strong here. I feel like it is a partner. If he's not an Earth sign, he's one that is strong, steady, doesn't say too much, but I feel like he had his say recently. He may not, you know, it may not have been like, you know, da da da. It would have been more to the point of giving a hint that you picked up on, and now you're adjusting to that, right? You had a hint here that he wasn't happy, and you picked up on it. Soon enough, it's not going to get agitated, irritated. So this is why you're kind of being more accommodating, right? And jumping in and realizing, yeah, I haven't been around. I haven't been paying as much attention as I should, that kind of thing. And then we have the Queen of Wands. And I feel like that's your energy. Okay, this is a fire and a Virgo is an earth. But nonetheless, I feel like this is the action that you're taking to do your part, your work in the relationship, right? Which is just attending to the needs of the partner. And that's really what's been missing. So I feel like this is the couple as you sit. And we notice that the woman's looking forward and the man's looking to the woman. So keep that in mind for the future when you decide that you've given enough, right? Because there's a lot of this that's needed on the male side, but you'll never hear them ask for it. They'll always go, yeah. And they'll feel defeated on the inside, but they won't say it on the outside. So be aware of that, because it seems like your energy for the Virgo female in the couple's relationship is just a little faster than your partner. You're kind of spinning circles around him. Not that he's lazy. He's strong and sturdy, but he's just energetically, socially, you know, spinning circles. And he just kind of wants to sit in quiet with you in the evenings and kind of chill out and not necessarily do anything, but be with each other, that kind of thing. So a feeling that can be absorbed over this time. The messenger card that I get is nurture all that you love. So that's just an extension of all the energy that's coming through here. Really, the white dragon, right? So that's all that pure love, devotion to your partner, and the purity. Keep that in mind as well. Because it's not necessarily that we need to be hopping into bed or, like I say, going out and doing things in that fiery kind of way, which I think the Virgo female is very much in that energy of doing things action-oriented. So it's just a matter of spending time, you know, even if you guys just sit and watch a movie or, you know, or just sit and read together, you know, connected. That will soothe him in some way. So Just nurture all that you love, which is your partner. They're just emphasizing all of that. The next card I get is the Ten of Swords, and this is your partner. Very much when I get to the end here, it's usually the opposite side of the romance. So maybe he is feeling it a lot more than I'm giving credit here for the energy. He may not be going outward with it, but he's feeling defeated or stabbed in the back, you know. Yeah. Again, I'm wavering between a situation where there was a hint given and then a situation where there's more than a hint given. So maybe in the past we had something blow out, like I'm talking within the last 6 months, and then maybe within the last month we had a hint about this is happening again, like this I'm not being paid attention to. Something here hurt your partner more than I think you're picking up on or realizing. And not only that, I think he's kind of in denial of it, like wanting to kind of shrug off that energy himself, yet he's still feeling it on the inside. So not want to show the effect that it's had, but inside he's feeling it very deeply. So that's interesting. Okay, so the next card I get, which is interesting again, is Judgment. So we have 2 Judgment cards here. Okay, so we got to watch that we don't start flipping switches. Now, they're kind of giving me a situation where, yes, this is a repeat. This Virgo female in the couple, she's a repeat offender here. She is continually making up for her mistakes, but not learning forward, meaning she's not taking it forward to a degree where she doesn't do it again. She just attends to the partner, gets them on a keel. This is so funny. Gets them on an even keel and then takes off and then gets busied up again. And then he has to get fired up and get mad. And so it's kind of like this is what's going on. And we have to watch because, yeah, it's interesting because it's almost like this last time we didn't have to go as far. We didn't have to, this is what I'm getting. It's almost like they're cheering because, yeah, she got it. This time she picked up and there was only a little bit of a hint, right? But last time we had a blowout, so be careful. And then this Judgment is going, you have the power, be careful you don't lose it. All that, I don't know if you can see that, but the energy that she's holding in her hands there, that's all that intuition that you have with your partner that you tend to brush off. I'm getting a brush off here. And this is really defeating the partner to a degree. Like I said, he's not going to say, but he's feeling it. And this is becoming a problem for him. Like this is the 10 is near the end of the road here for him. Like he's had enough of this. So beware of that. I was underplaying it earlier, but it was coming in very softly. But I think it's coming in that way because that's the way he doesn't want to kind of cause waves, but it's really not hitting him in the right place. So be aware of that because that has the potential to end a relationship. It really does. He's like on his last straw here. The 10 is it. That's it. So it's a good thing that your instinct's kicking in because we're coming to the end of the road here, last straw, that kind of thing. So be careful. Okay, so we got the Judgment. Wow. And the Judgment is the last, it's like the last call before you've realized what your lesson is, right? Where the universe is calling out to you, you better switch gears before things start to change. And then that comes with fate and all of that, right? So that's an energy that's sitting here. Now, what sits on top of that is heed the messengers. Did I go through this? No, I had this in my last one. Okay. Heed the messengers is really about listening to the intuition, right? You're getting that itch. You're getting that where you're going out and you're like, yeah, I should be home or I should. But you're like, ah, it's okay. He's my partner. He'll be there. Well, beware that that energy is dwindling away. That energy to always be there. It's becoming laborious for your partner. Let's put it that way. Okay, so the love card we get. Turn on your heart light. So it says, allow yourself in the moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. So maybe you're having a hard time rekindling the passion or the need to want to go back. You're doing it out of necessity, I feel, rather than pure compassion, which means pure wanting to be with your partner. You're doing it out of need. Like, I don't want him to leave me, so I better do this. But when you do it out of pure compassion, it's effortless, right? So turn on your heart light is kind of just getting rid of that need to, you want to accommodate, but it's the way that you're accommodating. You're accommodating in a way that is like a chore, and it shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel natural. So you kind of have to get underneath your passion a bit and get inspired to go in that way. Now, the official block says obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit, and doing so will help you bring clarity or solve the problem. So I feel like the obsessive thinking has to do with how do I appease him? But yeah, there's something missing in translation here. And I think we just need to settle down long enough to let all of these intuitive things hit us, right? Because we're getting it. We're just not sitting long enough to download it and process it. We're getting, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that later, or I'll tend to that later. But in the meantime, you miss the moment that you could have had today because you pile things on top of it instead of making it a priority. Although you are back and forth with that, it's like you're going in and making it a priority and then backing off and not doing. So a little bit of not understanding your partner, I think, to a degree where we've got a meeting of the minds here. We're busied up so much. So obsessive thinking is the block. So really what they're showing me, though, is you just need to slow down, period. You know, this fiery energy that's bringing you forward, we have to slow down with that. We have to kind of take our time and get back into play here where we can, where this guy's catching up to us, you know, and then we're actually at the same pace moving forward. That's what you want to do. Get the same pace as your partner. So I feel like your partner's kind of feeling like, wait a minute, you know, like wait up, you know, like when you're a kid, wait up, you know, but you're not going to hear him say that. He's just eventually not going to be there in the same way. And it's starting. I feel like this is the beginning of the end of him flipping a switch himself, of not being there emotionally anymore. He's starting to lose his emotional anchor here within the relationship, so be aware of that. So obsessive thinking, slow it down, turn on your heart light, get into your heart-centered place and deal with your partner in that way. Slow, slow, slow. I think the key here is slowing things down. Hopefully that will help the female single in a relationship. A little bit of a yo-yo thing going on with attentiveness here. There's yo-yo attentiveness going on, and I think as long as she's doing that, because you have to get level with it. You have to get balanced with that energy. You know, just balance it. Make him you're making him a priority, but like I say, it's because you have to. And then you're going to do it until he says it's okay, and then you're not going to do it anymore. So we have to make it part of our routine to spend that quality time, even if it's just chilling, doing nothing with each other. You know, whether it's, you know, you don't want to be on your phone or anything like that. But I mean, you know, two people reading in a relationship can do a huge amount if we're not on social media or something. Like, get a magazine and then like banter back and forth. It's like, it amazes me how many people go in a restaurant and they're all on their phones. And it's like, I wonder what they do at home. But anyway, judging here. So the Virgo female couple, she's got some obsessive thoughts she's got to deal with. So hopefully that helps. Deal with that, slow it down, and conquer. Your partner is not left yet, but he's really on the down downward spiral here. So we have to be aware that it's not, because I feel like the Virgo female is taking things a little flippantly, and she needs to take it a little more seriously, because her partner's really getting fed up with not getting a connective, like the anchor is just kind of click, 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 coming back in the boat. We're going to be drifting off pretty soon. So that kind of a feeling. Okay, said my piece. So now we are going into the male Virgo single. See what's going on with him. Glad I went for a walk. And I got grounded. Oh. Gotta shuffle one more. Oh, okay. Okay. No, Virgo male. Let's check that off. Male. Skip him. I haven't done one over again, so that's good. So skipping one every night. Jeez. Sometimes when I go, it's like you're a translator, you know, if somebody's speaking French, so you got to translate that, and then you got to spit it out. So then you kind of almost don't know what you're doing in the real-time moment of things. So can't remember what the hell you did and what you didn't do. You don't cross it off. Okay. Okay, one more. Male. See what's going on. Help him through his blocks. See what happens. Alrighty. Okay, so for the first romance card for the Virgo male single is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is really about marriage, taking it to the next step, whether that's dating to solid to roommate to engagement to marriage. It's a step up. So the male single is thinking about, if he's truly single, thinking about getting into a relationship, or he has someone that he definitely has his eye on in that way. Okay, so the next card I got top of that is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is about celebrating, going out and being with people, having fun, partying, going out on the weekends, you know, really being light and fluffy with everything. Now, we may be mingling with someone that we realize, yeah, I'm getting a heavy sense here that the Virgo male in a single situation, he's really got his eye on someone that he wants to marry, but I don't know that she knows this. I think she's kind of unaware. She may be in his social circle, but I mean, they're saying he's still single. This guy's single. He may know he wants to be or marry or, you know, get with this girl, but he's not doing what he needs, what it takes, right? So what they said, he's not doing what it takes to pull this off type thing. So as we go to the messenger card for that, it's observe in silence. So that's the whole deal right there. He's basically sitting back and watching. A little bit of a stalker energy here. Not heavy, but he's really little bit obsessive, but for some reason is staying in the sidelines. But it's almost like the social circle is tight enough that he doesn't really have to go far. He's got a lock on her, and he doesn't. I mean, she's always around, so he's not missing out on too much other than, you know, being in an actual relationship with her. Because I'm feeling like this guy is single. They're going, he's single, but this is what he wants, but he's not. You know, he's, like I said, in the social circle, but not going forward and saying, you know, let's go, making any more dates. It's like we've got a big grouping of people and they're all going out together, and that's enough for him in a way. So you're going to be aware. That's kind of a different energy there. As we go into the tarot cards, we get the Queen of Cups, so this may be that energy is locked on, right? So that's a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio woman that he is really just observing in the foreground, okay? We're starting to get weird with it here, I think. Yeah, because the woman is going in the direction, okay, give me a moment here, I'm going to translate. Then I go to the next card. The next card is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is about having to have a barrier between you and someone else, okay? Now, if we have, this is where it gets weird. We have that energy here. And what's going on is this Queen of Cups, she's barriered against, okay, against this dude that wants to marry her. So there is a weirdness here. It's a stalkerish type energy. We got a Virgo male here that is really paying high attention to a woman that really wants nothing to do with him. Okay, so there is and I feel like she's had to say this not more than once. They're going more than once. She's had to stand her ground and back this up. So we have to be aware. If you're a Virgo male and you're in a pushy position here, get to the point or get a back off, right? And if she says no, it's no. So we got to be aware. Wow, that's not good energy in this day and age, right? So we have a water sign here that is really putting her attention, because the cup's going towards the defensiveness. She's putting all her energy in blocking this guy out. So we got to be aware of that, okay? Now the messenger energy we got here is stay strong. And I feel like that's for this Pisces. Oh, man, I feel like that's for this Pisces woman. She's got to stay strong and stand her ground against this guy. They're going, he's not crazy. He's just a little thick. So it's just a little thick in the head. He will get it. We just have to stand our ground and be firm. Don't freak out. We just say no. Keep saying no in a calm manner. And eventually he'll divert his attention, okay? So there's an interesting scenario here. And I feel like the Virgo male is not going to come across this information. It's going to be secondhand. Like the Pisces will probably come across this. But yeah, the Virgo male's just going to really be in that little haze where he's really up in his head about things. But the reality is it's just not going to happen. Sorry, but it's not. We need to give up on that area, because it's going to get to the point where it's really going to ruin your reputation more than anything. So for the Virgo male single, we need to watch ourselves here. We're taking a misstep. So the next card I get is the Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords is an air energy. So that's interesting, because, give me a moment. Seems like we got a bit of a triangle here. This Queen of Swords may be interested in the Virgo male, but he's interested in this one. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Well, first of all, we have the Queen of Swords that understands this, and this is what she's feeling. 5 of Cups. So if you're feeling 5 of Cups, you're disappointed, you're upset, you're in sorrow. You know, you feel defeated. It's almost like, I don't know. what happened here, but for whatever reason, I feel the Queen of Swords has been fully informed about what this Virgo male is doing, where his attention is. So that's why, and I feel like if she was not on her way to having a relationship with this Virgo male, she was definitely pulled in emotionally in some way, and then almost dumped on her tail. Okay, so there was the Virgo male was bringing someone in attentively, knowing he was doing such, and then kind of just let things fall. Okay, and then got like sidetracked by somebody else, and then the person's going like, what the hell happened here? So there's a bit of a weird situation. Okay, so the card we get on top of all of this is change is unavoidable. So I think what we're going to have for this dude is he's just really not making any connections on anything but a superficial level. There seems to be something he's kind of after here, but I don't know that he's getting it or even close. And I'm not too sure what that is. I feel like he's just kind of floating through the air and not really, no rhyme, no reason. He's just wandering. It's really a weird feeling I get. Sorry, but the Virgo male is a little off here. There may be a situation, you know, where we're not completely lucid, meaning we may be into chemicals or some kind of mind-altering situation where we're really not in reality. A better part of the time, I would say 75%, we're just not grounded in reality. So there's a losing of touch here with what's real and what's not. So I don't know if that has to do with the chemicals or the mind itself in a natural state. So they were saying, you know, we don't have to get crazy here with things, but at the same time, we're ungrounded. So what's going on? So if you're around a Virgo male in a single situation, tiptoe silently away, I think is the key here, because there's a lot of things going on, and I can't even hook into it, and I think this guy just needs to figure it out on his own, however he does that. I know that sounds very bad, but for the Virgo male single, he's going through a time here where he has to get grounded, I think. So as we go into the love card, it says do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. Wow, that's no clearer. And I feel like that's very much in sign of this water sign. You need to drop that like it's hot, okay? Drop it and go somewhere else, someone else, anywhere else, because you're going to get into trouble if you keep banging your head in that same direction. So for whatever reason, there's like two cards here. So do something for someone else, and maybe all of this fog and this kind of in your head will leave. You see what happens now? Here we go. The block, obsessive thinking. So that's the obsession, right, is on this person. And I think if you can't be honest with them, you need to let it go. Mind you, they're saying he has been honest. He has come forth. But there's a closed door here. So that means no, and you take off. You go in a different direction. So you seem to have a block of obsessive thinking about this one direction that you can't go. So you got to pick another door. Door number 3. I'll try that. So sorry. Virgo male single, we're in a bit of a direction. We got to lift our anchor and float to another harbor, and I think we'll be okay. Yeah, a little bit of an energy here where we're just not wasting, but we're obsessing about something we can't do anything about. It's a no, a no is a no is a no. That's it. So you just go somewhere else, go in a different direction, and you'll have a better luck. Because if you keep banging in this one, you're just going to get hurt more. And I feel like it may not affect you in a hurtful way. You may just start obsessing more, so it's just not going to be a good situation. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully that energy hits you in some way and you get over that. Because it's not good to be hung up on something, especially when when there's a decline there. So hopefully you get over that. So for the Virgo male single, not too great, but there's always different directions and things can change in a heartbeat, right? So hopefully that happens. So now I am going to change over to the Virgo male in a couples relationship and see how we do. Oh, we're doing okay. Itchy nose. I'm halfway in, my nose starts to itch and I can't stop it. Virgo male couple. You hear nibbling. There's a little rodent at the bottom of the floor. He's chewing on a cardboard box. He was quiet all day. So this is funny. Makes me laugh. He's like, oh, is she going to wake me up? I'm going to be noisy. Oh, well. Sound like shuffling, that's all. Okay, oops. That was the single, so I cross them out. Virgo male couple again. We're almost there. Okay, that's it. Alrighty. Flip everything around here. Alrighty, Virgo, male in a coupled relationship. We'll see if he's faring any better. Excuse me. Okay, the first card I get for the male in a coupled Virgo is the Four of Cups. So that's really about tending to your partner, being attentive. And I feel a happy state within this. Like the guys, yeah, I don't mind. I'm happy. It's all good. Like treating her, right? That's what I heard. I like treating her well. So the next card I get is the Queen of Cups. So this may be the partner. So we have a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, that they have as the object of their affection. And the Virgo, I think Pisces is the exact opposite of Virgo. So that might be like opposites attract, right? So that's a very compassionate woman. And look at her. She's well, it's interesting because she's looking straight on. She's looking straight on, but yet her mask is going in the direction of the partner. So there's a little bit of, I'm getting a sense of coyness though with this couple. Like they get a kick out of tending to each other. Now the messenger card I get is embrace the masculine. So I feel like there's an equal give and take here. And they're getting their jollies. They're really coming from a greater place of compassion. She's coming from her heart going to him, and it feels him to give back. And it feels effortless because they're both doing it from their heart, not what they think they should do, but what they feel, right? So it's all good. Embrace the masculine. Yeah, they're both giving equally here. So as I move to the tarot cards, I get the Four of Pentacles. And in this deck, I like to get this card to mean a discovery within the relationship, okay? So we may have had, just like maybe we're in the mode where, what do you call that, like the honeymoon mode, meaning we could be in a relationship for a long period of time, but we're in the swing of things, the cycle of that honeymoon place where it's all happy and we're scheduling dates and, you know, doing things, and it's all very fluid and very organic, right? So there's new discoveries in that way being found and sought out. You know, it's like, well, I'll treat her good and then things get better. Imagine that, right? So a little bit of uncovering some extra love zones here within the relationship. The next card to get is the High Priestess. So High Priestess is really about the intuition. This male is tapping in. Not only is he realizing that there's things that I get back for giving, well, yeah. So he's tapping into that. He's realizing the gold mine here, and not only and it's making it easier and more effortless as he goes forward. Like he's realizing he really can inspire her to give back instead of, you know, standing there going, oh, love me, you know, rub my back, you know, that kind of thing. It's more he's inspiring her from the inside, okay? And he is bringing about the actions that he's not quite, he's kind of in amazement about. But nonetheless, going forward, he's tippy-toeing forward. Was like, can you believe this? I got my woman to do this. I didn't have to ask her. I'm just giving, and it's a 50-50, right? So that's really, he's got it made here. He's tapping into the flow of things in a romantic way. So the messenger card I get is Embrace Spirit. So we have Embrace the Masculine. We have the High Priestess. I mean, they have the High Priestess and Spirit. I mean, that's just really amping up the intuitive ability. This man is really keying into all of that. He's dipping into it, keying into it, piling more on and shooting it out. Like as soon as he gets it, it's going out there. And he's getting good results. So this is good. It's a good flow for him here. Then we get the Three of Pentacles, and that's the creative side, right? So this, how would I say? This reaction he's gotten from his partner has inspired a creative streak within him to keep going. How do I get more? How do I? But it's in a good way. It's not in a greedy way. It's just really trying to inspire the most out of each other. And that's really, I mean, it's really good. The Virgo male's tapping into it. He's really tapping into it. I don't mean that in the vulgar way it sounds, but he's going there. He's inspiring his woman to love him, and he's getting back because of that. In ways, like I feel like they're being very physically attentive to each other, and that's working. It's bringing that passion on, right? It's bringing it out, and it's moving forward, and they're discovering new ways to do it, and he's being creative, and it's all good. And then we have the Emperor. So he's willing, not only willing, but he is in charge here and willing to kind of, I'm getting a sense he's wanting to kind of veer off in certain directions. He hasn't let his partner in on this yet, but he will. And I feel like he's going to get an okay, what do you call that, reception, right? He's got some creative ideas rolling around, okay? And it has to do with, you got to be careful how I say, controlling his woman, but not in a bad way. In a way that he brings all the passion, but he wants it to go in a certain way. He wants to try new things. It's all in the creative side of things, right? So he's trying to take control and let her know what ways those are. So that's all good. Now, the messenger card I get on that is honor the earth. So don't forget to take time out. Don't forget to take time out. And they're going, yeah, we can't just be pent up in the house all day, right? We want to go outside in nature and be, they're showing me like watching TV in bed and like not getting out of bed and not getting out of bed. So a lot of this going on, which is good. But we need to kind of ground, we need to balance that out in nature here, and do that with your partner as well. You know, go out in nature and get the fresh air and be inspired and ground out. So just gonna, I feel like I'm not getting something here that they want me to say. Something about the day and night cycle here. Yeah, maybe it's just these two are just getting lost, and it's like, well, day and night don't matter. We're just, you know, we're kind of in bed all day and in bed all night, so it don't matter. But balance things out. Go outside in nature, and it will help. Okay, the love card I get for the male Virgo is Union of Hearts. It says there is a connection of love that defies explanation in this relationship. So there it is, Union of Hearts. And it's interesting. It's two people that look like the trees, right? So grounding out in nature. That's just amping up that whole thing. It's like, get out and amongst people. Maybe they just want you to inspire other people, you know, like don't. And I know this sounds weird for people that don't like public displays of affection, right? But it's almost like share the wealth, right? Share. You don't have to be all get a room with it, but just go out there and be affectionate outside of your home. Be affectionate in the malls, hold hands, you know, spread that loving vibe, right? I think that's really what they're trying to say here. Yeah, because there's a lot of pent up stuff. I mean, it's all passionate, it's good, but they want you to share outward in a respectful way. Now the block here is interesting. Surrender your fear of intimacy. Okay. It says you're ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Now I don't feel, this is, I've never had this where I've been conflicted with this, because I do not feel like this Virgo male has a problem with his intimacy. So just give me a minute. Patterns. So there may be some kind of a pattern here. Just watch for patterns, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe you say, yeah, oh yeah, you know, you can relate with it, then do with it what you will. But I'm getting a sense of these two. They're just all up in it. They're intimate all over the place. Maybe not outside, right? Not in public, but at home, man, they're just letting loose and being who they are with each other. So I don't see any, so maybe there is a sense here of PDA phobia, right? We may have a situation where we can't do this in public. So why is that? Or, you know, I mean, we don't want you making out in public, but I mean, going out and showing affection, does that make you seem weak? Does it make you seem like it's a bad thing to do, right? That may be the problem. We have no problems personally, you know, in lockdown in our room and all of that with the blinds and shutters closed, but in front of everyone else. So look for patterns in that way where intimacy is checking off a box where you're relating to that, because they're saying the block is intimacy. I'm telling you, the energy I'm getting, there's no fear there. But again, it's all within very safe zones, right? Which is, again, it's not a bad thing. But so maybe you have to understand that there might be a public fear of showing intimacy. Showing intimacy in a public way, maybe that's more along the lines. So hopefully that helps, because other than that, I don't see anything blocking anything here. It's all really good energy for the Virgo male in a coupled relationship. Is really groovy. and it feels like it's on both ends. The partner's cool with it. You're down with it. It's all good. So hopefully that helps. Union of Hearts. So there's obviously may even be like a past life connection here with this Virgo male and a couple, where we're starting to key into deeper levels of the relationship. You know, we're not just surfacey stuff. We're really getting intimate. So I don't know, it's confusing that it's a block. But again, I feel like it's a public-private thing. In private, no block. In public, block. So that, if that resonates, look into that. And other than that, I see new barriers. We're just going full bore. So that's a good, the best energy so far, actually. So as I move on, we are now into Leo. So Leo, female, single. I'm going to start off with her, see how she's doing, and go, if I remember correctly. And a cheeky reading with the Leo. I think it was the single, yeah. She was feeling quite superior. And, how do you say, and willing to discuss that with anybody, but any suitors coming forth had to kind of up their game, I think was the thing. So we'll see where she's at now with all that energy. So the Leo female, single. Oop. Okay, start with that. How are we doing? Oh, we're pretty good. Almost right on schedule here. Getting my timing down, I guess. So Leo female, single. Okay, I think we're good to start. Okay, Leo, female, single. First card, romance. Oh, my hair. 9 of Swords. This is interesting. Okay, 9 of Swords. So that's really about, they call it the mirror. So the mirror is usually your match, right? There's someone here that is very equally balanced energetically to you. So this is going to be a good one, okay? That's what they're saying. This is going to be a good one. So the next card I get is the 9 of Coins. And the 9 of Coins is the strong and steady. So if we get these two cards, right, this is great because this says I'm strong and steady. And not only that, I'm your match. And we're good. We're going to be good and solid. This is a single. So I feel like she's getting into a relationship that she feels very comfortable in. Not only energetically, but like just a companion, almost like a best buddy, a best pal. But I don't feel like these two were. I feel like this is kind of a new forming of a couple, meaning they don't have a past history from like high school or, you know, or we knew each other in college or any of that. I feel like it's a new coupling, but there's a sense of home within it. And usually when that happens, it's some kind of a mated or fated relationship, right? From either a past life or something that brings all that energy forward. So really good energy. The messenger card I get on top of that is trust in magic, right? So that's another symbol that we really have something here beyond the ordinary, okay? So you may have to deal with this relationship a little differently. I think you are, and you know that. And that's why it's come to be, or coming to be, because we're still talking about a single here. But like I said, I feel like she's switching gears and ready to jump in. May not have done that just yet, but on her way. Okay, so the next card I got in the tarot is the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is about decisions, and, well, not about decisions as much as options. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things, and I feel like this is kind of the universe going, okay, we need to keep her busy, because if she really looks at this head on, she may get distracted and want to flee, or, you know, or not want to look at it properly. Like, we need to keep her busy in order to keep her priorities straight. Okay? I think if you're the Leo female, you'll understand this. So the Seven of Cups is really about options, but I feel like it's not in the romance area. I feel like it's just busy things going on, appointments and schedulings and stuff like that. That's what I feel it is. Well, I got the Two of Wands is the next card I get. So that's about choices and decisions. So I have to take that back. Let's step back here. So, yeah. Okay, we may have a situation here. Sorry, I didn't look at the cards very well here before I started yipping. We may have a situation where we may have a lot more options, but because I said, well, is it for this guy and against this guy? And they're like, no, it's options. So this may not be the only option she has, but I feel like it's the only one she's seeing in that way. Like the closest thing to her face, really. It's like it's in her face, but she may have some decisions that she needs to make through the process of getting into this, right? Because I feel like we're just teetering on the edge here. So she's got just some decisions to make. So we'll go from there. The Messenger card I get is a new day dawns, and that's the new energy coming in, right? The new fresh feeling. And so, yeah. Okay, so what's going on is we have this dude, okay, that's a mirror to everything that you are, okay? And this feels very groovy and very grounded, though we're not in the relationship. We're just hanging and becoming very comfortable with that, okay? Now as we move forward, there's a new energy coming in, okay? And I feel like it's not really something you see at this point, but it's going to be coming at you wanting your attention. Let's put it that way, okay? And they're not showing any, well, yeah, they are. Okay, so here we go. The next card. It's the Knight of Cups. And there's the new energy, okay? And he's going straight at the decision, right? I mean, the horse is looking that way. He's looking the other way. But it's interesting because then we get into the wishes and this woman being all up in her head. Is this the way it was sitting? No. I'm like, he's facing her. Anyway, he's facing her. And she's facing him. So that's interesting because she's all up in her head. So it's like she realizes there's an energy there, a possibility. Like, oh, somebody's looking at me. But it's just the introduction of the energy, right? So there's something here that feels good and grounded. There's a friendship budding and a possibility of something more that feels very homey, okay? Very, yeah, homey is the only thing, like comfortable, really comfortable. And then what's going to happen, she's just going to get in her comfort zone there, and then this new energy is going to go rushing in, okay? And it's going to catch her attention because she's like sitting on the edge to going, oh, what's that? You know, look at a white knight on a white horse, da, da, da. So away he goes, right? So that's the energy coming in, okay? So this is the decision, right? So there's this homey feel, and then this new energy coming in. Now on top of that, we get know your power. So that's about esteem and what it is that you truly want. And they're going, she needs to decide before. And I don't know that this can be thwarted, right? I think she's going to be going in here kind of with bit of a stress about this decision, because she may not, I don't know if she'll be inclined to look at it properly, but they're like, we need to understand what it is that what truly means the most to us, so that we make the decision from that standpoint. So a backing away. I said, she's going to get that. And they're like, we do not know. It is up to her, because she has to understand that she has to look at that. It's like a cheat sheet. She has to look and go, okay, well, that one fits, that one doesn't. Boom, it's easy, right? But I feel like she may go through a bit of a process here where she's stressed, you know, doesn't see it so clearly, okay? So she has to take the time to do that. And that's knowing her power, knowing the effect, one, she can have on a man, a partner, and two, knowing what she wants in a partner. What will she accept and not accept? She really has to draw that line, because they're going, I feel like there's squeakers trying to cross the finish line here, and they're not prepared for what's on the other end, meaning they're not prepared for the Leo, single, female, when they get across that finish line. So she has to know her power within that in order to see that before they do. So, okay, the love card. Ask for help. What is it you really need help with, and be willing to allow yourself the support you need. So I feel like that's, you know, yeah, they do. Getting other people's opinion might help you get better grounded within your own opinion, right? I don't feel that they'll sway you, but I think they'll illuminate the things that already mean something to you, because you may not be in that moment quite clearly. I hope this is coming through okay. But it's like you're going to be in a situation where you're like, oh, these two men, and then you'll have a best friend beside you going, well, yeah, but don't you remember we had a conversation about what means most, and it was this, that, and the other, and you're going, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Those kind of things, those kind of conversations. That's what you need to do, is click into that family circle. I'm saying family circle, but friend circle that feels like family, because you've known them so long and they know you just as good. So they can give you good, detailed, you know, don't you remember you told me you wouldn't accept this, that, and then bring them out. And I think they're going to be in there naturally. But yeah, so ask for help. Don't be afraid to do that. Will help you make the decision. It really is what's going on. So your block is surrender to rest and sleep to prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. So the Leo being that fiery energy, she's burning down to the tip there. She's got to rest and relax, and she'll see things a lot. They're going a lot clearer, because she can really get strung out quite easily. It's like you go, 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 and then you collapse. So you have to be aware of that, and just don't let yourself get to that point. You have to be you have to see that before it happens. You know, see the burnout before it gets there, before you're dropping and getting irritated. So the resting and slowing things down seems to be your block. So don't be afraid to slow things down and let things unfold a little more naturally. Don't get so busied up. That's a Leo thing, I think. It just naturally goes that way. So hopefully that helps the Leo female single. So we are now on, Sherry's still here? Oh, she's gone. The Leo female couple. So I'm going to get into my shuffling. And we'll conquer that. So the Leo female in a coupled relationship is next up. Okay. Where am I at here? Shuffle. So Leo female couples. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Okay, so the Leo female in a coupled relationship. The first card we got is that right? The Ace of Pentacles. So the Leo female is definitely focused on work more so than the romance. That is the focus of her attention here. That's where she's at. That's what means the most at this moment. The next card we get is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is about a karmic tied relationship. But yet I always say in this card that there's somebody's off, right? Because we have the tie around the man's wrist. So this may symbolize the female's partner. But I feel like there's an imbalance. There's a tie here, but it's like someone doesn't want to be tied. Okay, so that kind of an energy setting. Now the next card I get, or the messenger card I get on top of that, is see yourself in nature. And I feel like the Leo female, right? This has to do with her again. I mean, going back to even the single, we're talking about slowing down, waiting for spring. See yourself in nature, get out amongst others, but not in a work sense, right? Not in a, I have to be here because I have a duty. Okay, go somewhere where you want to be because you do not have any ties to make you do that. So this is really going out and being among your social groupings because you want to do that. So that's going to help alleviate some of this imbalance. Because I feel like there's an imbalance, but I don't know if it's just because the Leo female is really focusing on work rather than the relationship. That might just be it. The next card I get is the Queen of Wands, right? So that's your energy. That's the fiery woman that you are. And you're going in the direction to find something. What are you looking for? Justice. You're looking to balance something out, okay? Now what we get on top of that is seek the lesson. So there is something going on in the relationship here that is not comfortable. I'll put it that way. There's something going on that we don't feel that homey vibe that the female from the single is feeling. We're feeling off, okay? They got the Justice here and the scales are balanced, but they're going, it's not balanced. There's no balance here, but the Leo female is looking to create that balance or make that balance happen, okay? So I don't know if I'm still digging with, I'm still pulling this energy of maybe the Leo female needs to create more balance in the relationship. Maybe her partner is feeling an imbalance of her attention, maybe not getting enough at home. That sounds bad. But, you know, it's spending more time with work on her mind, you know. She may be at home, but work is on her mind or other things, right? So that may be something here, but there's something that she's trying to justify. We'll move on. So seek the lesson is the card here. And there's something going on. I feel like there's a, what's the, like an itch, like an uncomfortableness. I think I said it that way before, but there's an uncomfortableness here that we got to uncover. Okay, the next card I got is the Six of Wands. Okay, so the Six of Wands is about packing up and move in a calmer direction. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you're packing up and leaving the relationship, but what card do we have in its wake here? The High Priestess. So we may be packing up our old ways and starting to key into our intuition and going to try that, because there's something that's wrong here and we don't quite know what it is. So give this a shot. I feel like that's what it is. It's like the Leo female in a couples, maybe, is she kicking into her intuition? She's starting to, but it's not always been that way, and I don't know that we were seeing that clearly. So they're on a path here. I think the female is really looking for justice, but what's she going to find? Her intuition. And she's going to create justice through that if she listens to it. Will she? I don't know. You know, because even though the Leo woman can be quite confident in her own way, there is still an ego there. But I don't feel it gets out of hand. I just feel it comes in the way of her listening to her intuition properly. I feel like it jumps in there and says, nope, this is what we're going to do. But not in a, you know, it's more female oriented, it's in a softer sense of it, right? So it's more cloaked in compassion, but not necessarily from there, because we're from our ego. So it's a slippery little sucker getting in. But the High Priestess is nonetheless, I think, what she's in search of. She's in search of some secrets here, and I feel like she's starting to understand that they may be inside her somewhere. So that's where she's going to look. But well, she's headed there anyway. What she uncovers, I don't know. But she's headed in that direction to do things differently, and that's what's happening. Now, the Messenger card I get is wash away your burdens. So there are some things in the relationship that are hanging heavy, that maybe not hanging heavy. We may be able to bat them off quite easily, but they're nonetheless things that need to be dealt with. And I think she's feeling an urgency to do that, to deal with things, but not knowing exactly how to do that. So this is going to help with that. This is going to help. So washing away burdens, there may be some emotional clearing that she's going to have to do. And I feel like it's going to be without the partner. She's going to deal with this stuff on her own, because that's the only way she can get into her intuition, is if she deals with it one-on-one herself. When she's using it towards her partner, I think she gets confused. That's what they're showing me. If she's looking for her instinct, she has to deal with it within her own self. She goes to use it on her partner, she uses her ego on her partner. But she may, I don't know if she understands the difference there. So there's a bit of a enlightening time here. I feel through the spring and summer. Spring for sure, into summer, where we're going to be getting into better things, making decisions from different areas of where, like I said, getting rid of old ways, right? Getting rid of old ways. So the love card I got for the Leo female in a coupled relationship is new love. So embrace a new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. You're going to know at work, spiritual growth, yes. Well, they're going, yeah, work too, because the work is really going to be a side effect. Once she starts digging into her intuition, she's going to go out in areas of comfort. Where is she comfortable? In her work area, where she's, you know, and then she's really going to splatter it everywhere, actually. But I feel like, yeah, she's going to start spiritually evolving here to a higher degree. And they're going, yeah, or they're catching stars all over the place, right? Just catching those stars, and there's in work and home. And so there's an uncomfort here that is spurring her to find new ways to deal with things in the relationship. And that's what's going on here. Now the block, frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving dilemmas or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup, so you may approach the situation more calmly and from a different angle. And I feel like that's a lot of all this stuff coming together, right? It's all, the intuition's going to help get you out of these frustration cycles, right? Because the frustration is really coming. It's coming from using your old ways on new things. So we need to use new energy towards the new things. And the new energy comes from the new insights, the awakening of the mind, right? And they're noticing this. They're waking, they're noticing, but they have to start putting it into action because they're acting on the old habits, but they're starting to see the new ways. So now they just have to start acting, and then they'll get forward very quickly because they'll learn frantically. They're going, it's going to be a frantic, like catching up, getting rid of. But until they start utilizing, and I feel like it'll be into the spring before they start going outward in action-oriented ways, like acting on their intuition where they can trust it. That's what's going on here. We're just realizing there's a voice over there, and now we got to tune into it. And then once we tune in, and then we can, sit back and make sense. Does that make sense? But there's a lot of frustration here is what they're saying, and that seems to be everywhere. And they're going, that's no, what is it, coincidence? That's no coincidence that you're having frustration. It's because of those old ways of dealing. So we really have to embrace the new energy, the new thought process. How do we do that? We slow down and take note of what's coming in. Take note of the brain process. And I think we know enough to stay out of the negative side of things, or maybe we don't. It's that, what do you call that? That constant loop that goes on, the constant looping of bad things. So may have to get rid of some of that too. But nonetheless, coming across that energy, right? The intuition, the new love it's going to come at you from your same partner, but hopefully when you drop a lot of those old ways, then you'll see new results, right? That's what they're saying. Drop the old ways, you'll get new results. Embrace the new energy coming in and slow down long enough to take note of it. That's really what it is. Leo, that fiery energy is just burning up everything in its path, and we need to take more time for ourselves. And when we do watch the mind chatter, pay more attention to the mind chatter. Is what they're saying, so that we at least are aware of what's coming and going in there in the mind, because it's really quite busy. That's what I'm getting. So hopefully that helps for the Leo female in a coupled relationship. Now we're going into the Leo male single. Check him out, see how he's doing. And then, we're pretty good here. I'm doing not bad. 15 minutes seems for a reading. So, hello, my one viewer, whoever you are. One little peeker. Oh, gone. Scare him away. Or her. Oh, okay, so Leo male single. What are your blocks? How do you get past them? And away we go. Boy, oh boy. A lot of people needing to dip into the sleep cycles over this time. That's another thing, too, with the advancement, the energies and intuition that you get. You're just going to get these moments where you're like, I didn't really do a lot of work today, but I'm tired. And it's a mental tired, and it transfers quite well to the physical tired. So you're just tired, and you need to dip into that, or you just don't think clearly. You kind of jumble things up, and you want to take that time to do that, to rest, relax, rejuvenate. So it really helps things go smoother forward. So as I shuffle here. So the Leo male single. This one goes. Slippery cards. Oops, I keep knocking the camera. So I'm hoping these blocks help people see clearer, so they're like, oh, that's my block? Okay. Because sometimes, a lot of times when I get insight from the energies, I'm like, that's a block? Oh, okay. And then you got to go in that direction and conquer it in some way. Sometimes you just don't realize things are blocking you, or you don't give them credit, but they can still do damage, so to speak. Or maybe not damage as much as keeping you back from moving forward. It's really just kind of a light energy, but nonetheless, can't move if our brakes are on. So the Leo male, single. Okay. Oh, jeez. Rodent. It's freaking me out. Okay. So we're on the Leo male single. The first card I get is the Six of Coins. So the Six of Coins is kind of like an admiration card. Vanity, if you will. So there may be someone either you're admiring or someone that's admiring you. But I feel like it's the Leo male is admiring someone, or mind you, that would be very much in that lion element, right? Look at me, and so it could go either way. Okay. The next card I get is the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is about putting your best foot forward. So you may be wanting to be noticed, is actually what I'm getting from these two cards. It's like you're wanting to be noticed by that certain someone. So this one here is getting the attention from someone who's painting their picture, right? And I mean, even though that's a woman, we're talking about the male here. And I feel like the male is wanting to be admired, wanting to be looked at, you know, like that Leo trait. So he is putting his best foot forward to try and accomplish that, to try and get someone to be, for him to be the object of affection here, right? So it's interesting because as we go on, the messenger card we get is Embrace the Feminine. So we may have a male single who, well, there's some scenarios coming up here. So we could have a male Leo who is actually looking or admiring someone who is in a way pregnant. So there may be a woman that he's admiring that is actually pregnant, but I don't feel that it is his, but nonetheless in admiration of that. Then there's also the scenario that we are putting our best foot forward in order to get this, to get the feminine to come forward, right? What am I gonna conjure up here with if I pull out all my feathers, right? Come out all my fur and be that lion. What's gonna come at me? I feel a curiosity with this guy, like he's really wanting to get himself gussied up and see what he can. I'm getting the word trap, but you don't want to trap someone, but see what he can snare. You know, like what's gonna come his way in that way. So the tarot card I got is the Hermit. So that's interesting. If we've got that energy of wanting to peacock outwards, the Hermit is really, okay, they're basically saying that he's done some soul searching here, and he's realized he's tweaking a few things, pulling a few levers and pressing a few buttons in his own psyche, and willing to take that outward, willing to experiment outward with that, what he's found out in that way. And I feel like this is fresh stuff, like this is all fresh energy, and he's going, you know what, I'm going to take that outward. I'm not going to try it on nobody, but I'm just going to go out there and flaunt it. And that's the energy I'm getting from the Hermit, because he's done some introspection, figured out some things, and now he's going to go outward. Now, we get the Temperance card. So we have to watch. I feel like, you know, Leo, ego, watch your ego. Take note of that. Also, be aware not to get over indulging in the drink too much. But also, yeah, they're going, be careful, because a Leo has a certain energy, especially the males. They have a certain, well, males, female, it don't matter. They have a certain energy coming forth that can be very threatening, even though that's not the way that they want it to go outward. So when a Leo is really, I mean, a Leo can walk in a room and make a presence even when he's not prepared to do so, or he's not putting that energy forth. So when he works at it and puts the energy forth, look out, right? The whole room's going to stop and stare. So I feel like he has to kind of watch for jealousies around him, because he may be treading on a few toes here, but not intentionally. I don't feel it's intentional. I just feel, you know, I can't help it if I'm beautiful, that kind of a thing. So he's going out and strutting his stuff, and he's got to watch he doesn't stir up too much trouble in doing so. So just temper yourself a little bit. Be a little humble. When in doubt, go humble. The next card I get, the Messenger, is see the truth. And I feel like that has to do more with people outside of you. I feel like there's a tendency here to get suckered, and they're telling me with the women. So be aware that even though you're going out and peacocking a little bit, we got to watch what we attract in that way, because we may be actually attracting something that we don't want, which is a superficial relationship, right? Because they're looking for depth here. This Leo is looking for more depth than he's ever gotten or ever seen in a partner. And that's what they're making me aware of here. Be careful, because we may actually be attracting the thing that we've decided we don't want. And they go, it's not because he's focusing on it, it's just because we're not aware of, you know, the red flags in that way, that kind of thing. So seek the truth always. Don't be naive. I don't think they'll be naive. I think they'll just be in a fast movement, whereas some of these things can just fly by. That's what it is the pace here. We got to watch our pace in order to slow down and see the truth, because that fiery energy can bulldoze over a few things. Now, as we move forward for the male single, we have the King of Cups. And that is interesting, because they're going, that's his energy. He's all up in his emotions. He's trying to regulate that. He's trying to understand that, come from a deeper sense of that. And I feel like the single's been single for a while, and absolutely of his choice. He has not wanted a relationship, but he's made some realizations, and it's piqued his curiosity. He wants to know what'll happen if. What if I do this? What if I do enough that he's willing to go out and see what he can find in a relationship in that way? So that's really what's going on here, is the curiosities. Getting to the little tiger. He's a lion, but he's getting to him, right? So that's why, and he's all up in his emotions and willing to go outward with it. So he's being very compassionate. The next card I get is the Ten of Swords. Okay, so this is going to be the potential energy of your partner. So this is what he's going to come across and get stirred up by, okay? So it's this white knight feeling is what's going on here, and that's the King of Cups is very much like that, and that's why I think they brought it forward, is because he's going to come in and he's full of emotion. He's, what is the matter, babe? How can I help you? Sweetheart, tell me what's going on. So while he does that, he's got to watch that this energy here that he ends up trying to heal, that he doesn't get pulled back 3 steps. You know, he's trying to make strides forward. He's got to watch and be careful. I'm not saying don't go in that direction, but this woman has been hurt and spawned, so she's jaded, okay? So beware of the backlash that can happen through that. The male single is coming from the right energy, but this is what they're warning about. Beware that you may attract something, and even though it may look innocent coming in, you're helping her being the man. You got to watch, because there's some effects there that might not be all on the positive, okay? But it's simply because of the emotional state of this person. They're very much, they've been stabbed in the back, wounded. They're not healed. They're not in a position where they can give fully emotionally. So this is what, it's just coming in. We don't know if we're dealing with it. We don't know if we're taking it on. It's just coming in. So we'll make our mind up from there. The reflection, or sorry, the messenger card I get is time to reflect. And I feel like that's a play on the mirror thing. I feel like that's a play on the energy that you may have some, yeah, okay. You may have some energies here. You've had time to heal. Like I said, I felt like this Leo male has been single for a while. So I feel like he's kind of worked through his wounds. And though he may not be healed, case closed, he may be healed enough, like I said, to build in the next relationship. Well, this one here, this energy, is really not in a position where they're ready to be a valid partner, okay? And they may do this out of codependency. So if we're looking at that, we got to be aware that that's has the potential to come forward, show its head. But because what they're saying to me is they're going, back in the day when he was wounded, this is his mirror, because this woman is going through exactly what he went through not so long ago. So that's what they're saying, is really this is going to illuminate. Is he going to see it? I think he will. I think he will, but we have to be careful how we treat it. We don't want to get pulled into a codependent relationship. We want to help, but this person also has to help themselves. And we have to be aware to give time and space for that, and to not, you know, push either. And I think the Leo male knows, but I think he may get caught up in the white knight syndrome thing and just get rolling with things. And then before he knows it, he's latched right in there and he didn't know what happened, you know. And then there may be some not so wonderful things going on that he doesn't know how to quite deal with. But in essence, they're going, that's where he was. He was exactly where this person was. So this is really here to illuminate that. So it's interesting. You're getting a mirror after the fact. Usually they show it's like, yeah, but really when things go on, you know, you may be an energy match for someone, but you may not be in that place, but you can help them deal with things, right? So those are the lessons that you can see. So don't deny any truths that come forward, is really what they're saying. Don't deny any truths that come forward. Just deal with them head on. And they go, you're good for that. You can do that. So just bring it up, bring it out, and deal with it and move forward. Then we're not hiding, we're not denying, we're not being codependent. Everything's gonna be on the table. So time to reflect really is, like I said, playing on the mirror aspect, like you were in the same position this woman was. So you really have an ability here to learn through leaps and bounds through this other person, and it's really there to kind of twist you. Not only did you go inside and hermit yourself to realize your realizations from your viewpoint, but now you're going to see them from somebody else's viewpoint, which really, it will illuminate things, and including things you're in denial of, because it'll bring up those things, and then you'll go, yeah, and you'll think from a different point of view, and it just helps you key into things quicker. So the love card for the Leo male single, which is interesting. Your interesting ride there, buddy. Rest and relaxation is essential. We have a fundamental need to take breaks. So don't what do you call that? Overwork yourself. But they're saying, you know, in the social side of things either. You know, I think you're pretty regimented with work. You've got that down. You don't, if you need to go to bed early, you go, but you're scheduled in that way. But when it comes to, you know, this energy coming in, you may tax yourself out emotionally, which drains to physical, which affects all areas, right? So be aware of that. Rest and relaxation, that'll help you if you keep that up to par. And your block, again, look at this, 2 rest and relaxation cards. So not only is that a possibility, but it's a must to get your rest and you will see clearly. And not only that, rise above all the problems that may come, you know, because there's really a potential here. They're showing me left and right. We can go left and right with it. We can make it a train wreck, or we can actually float above and really have this as a very illuminating relationship. Maybe long-term, maybe not. Depends on the abilities they want to bring forth. And I feel like the Leo male is good for this, but it's that ego, right, that could get in the way of a few things. So you're on a trip, buddy. So hopefully that works out for you. Just take naps along the way and you'll be fine. It's the rest and relax. Everybody's the whole Leo schmear here is the same. They have to rest. Going too fast, that fiery energy is just wearing them out. So take a break. You will see clearly and be aware that there is a mirror coming at you in that way. And they're saying it's good that he's in his compassion because he's going to need it. So don't lose that. That's what they said for the male single. So hopefully that helps, Leo. Very good. You know, courageous energy. It could, like I said, it could go either way because we don't really see an outcome, right? It's just, well, it's up to him. What does he decide to do? Is he going to go in there and get his rest? Because if he doesn't get his rest, he's really not going to be any good in a relationship. And then the tempers flare. My chair is creaking. Tempers flare and things get out of hand quickly, you know? So if we get our rest, then we're more grounded, we're more patient, and we're more able to see things clearly and be non-judgmental and come from compassion. Compassion is a hard place to come from if we're not getting our sleep. Ask a mother, she knows. Anyway, so Leo, male single, there's your reading. Get your rest and everything else will float in quite smoothly. So the last read of the day here, we have Leo male in a couple relationship. So give me 5 to get all the cards out, and we'll figure out what the Leo male is gonna overcome. I'm on time, a little behind, but that's okay. Pretty good. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. The Leo male in a coupled relationship. Last read of the night here. What are your blocks? Okay, Leo male couple. First card I get is 13. So that's the death card, okay? So usually signifies an end of a relationship. Signifies sorrow and all of that bad stuff, you know, grief. Yeah, an ending here. I mean, there's no flip in this. I mean, it's a grave, right? So there's something is stopped, okay? Now, right beside it, we have 16, the tower. And the tower is really that, I want to say catastrophe, but that thing that comes out of the blue to clear something right out. Now, I feel like this Leo male in a coupled relationship, there's a relationship here that's got to go. And we've known this and we've understood this, but we've not done any action to make it happen. So the universe is coming here and is doing damage, okay? Now, the card, the messenger card I get on top of that is see the truth. Because I'm going, the messenger card is usually the message from spirit. And they're going, see the truth, because this is what happened with the tower and the transition card, right? Because we have a transition here that needed to happen, but if left up to you, the Leo male is not. So the universe come in, shook things up, and now we got no choice but to see the truth of the situation, and that's what's happened here. Because we are in denial, heavy, I think. Not wanting to make more of a mess of things, but look what happened, right? So that's what they're going. You could have handled this earlier with less strife, but now this is the way it's going because it needs to go. It needs to go. And for some reason, there was just a, I don't feel you're fighting for the other way to keep it, but you just were not inclined to go headlong and stop things. Just let it go. You let it continue, let it get to the point where it was drastic, and that's what happened. So they need you to not be in denial anymore, because that's really what happened. Because I feel like this shockwave has woke this Leo male up and made him see. So we just want you to continue to see that moving forward. That's what they want, right? So the King of Wands, there you are, right? Being your old self. Now, it's interesting because, yeah, we have the King of Wands, right? He's looking off in the direction, and this Hermit card is trying to shine the light of illumination, intuition, all of that knowledge to help him get further to where he really wants to go. And he's just not seeing it. Why? Because he's focused on something else. He's distracted, but not only distracted, heavily in denial. They're going, yeah, there's no two ways about it. He's in denial. This guy's in complete denial. You know, and the universe is trying to shine that lamp on you, and you're like, nope, I got my own lamp, I got my own light, and I'm following it. So there's a bit of an ego struggle here that I think we're not under the right the ego and the intuition, he doesn't know the difference. In fact, he really thinks his ego is something he should follow, and that's what's got him into this predicament in the first place. So as we go on to the messenger, interesting, we go embrace the feminine, and they're going, that's the other person. There's somebody else here that he's paying attention to, or he wants to pay attention to, or it may not be one person in particular. It may be a symbol of something outside that he wants more than what he's had, okay, in this relationship. So there's something here you have to be true to. There's traits, things that are carried in some other direction that you need to be aware of. Now, it's interesting because he's also looking away from that female as well. So is this the relationship he's in? They're going, no, this is a symbol of where he needs to go. He needs to embrace the feminine. So he may have a block. He may have a, he may be at a jaded point in his life now where he's like, women can kiss it, and not in a good way, right? So it's like, I'm not like jaded. Yes, absolutely. But still not turned on to his full self. Like he's not realizing what's going on here. He's amongst it, but he's not downloading all the details. And there's the universal energies trying to come in. They're trying. There's instinct here, but it's really so low on the scale. He's just not listening because he's roaring, right? And we got little whispers of light coming at him, and he's just not listening, not hearing it, because he's in a different mode altogether. Now, the next card I get, and this is on the other side of things, okay? So this is showing him towards the relationship in which he came, okay, or is coming out of. We have the Nine of Wands, and that's that sitting and waiting for results and not getting any, and that's really the universe going, yeah, it's not going to happen. So that's really, this is kind of like, I want to give up, but I'm going to put in a little more effort and keep hanging on. So that's really what was happening in this relationship. He's just feeling like it's just around the next corner. I'm going to get there. I'm not there yet, but he's waiting, right? Now, there's a lot, Nine of Swords is the next card. There's a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights, worry, stress, anger, resentment. Though he's stuffed that as well. He's stuffed that as well. The resentment, he's just numb to everything. You cannot live your life in a numb zone. That's what they're saying. You can't just numb up and stay. You need to release yourself from that and be free from that. Because that's really the energy. They don't want you sitting in there. You're not happy, so why not change, right? This is what's going on. This is the feeling I'm getting from this. So a lot of stress and anxiety. This is really not a good place. Stress and anxiety and a feeling of giving up, but yet hanging on to waiting for change, okay? Now the universe comes in and says need and necessity. Is this a need and is it necessary? All of this stress, all of this anxiety, is this what you need? No, nobody should have to live with this. So why are you, right? Why aren't you looking at your life? Because they're going, he'd give advice to his buddies to get the hell out. Why isn't he taking his own advice? Why isn't he looking at his life like he analyzes his friend's life, or he tells his friends to deal, that kind of thing? That's the energy I'm getting here. Like, if you were giving advice outward, you wouldn't settle for half as much as you've got, kind of like that. So really a sense of this Leo male in the couple shutting down completely to a point where he's not seeing himself clearly, just kind of giving up on things. So that's sad. So something has to change, right? So that's the energy that's here now. Now the Love card. Spend quality time together. So it is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening and talking to each other. There's a certain amount here that is true for this relationship, but the rest needs to go to the future. We need to learn how to deal with a relationship that we're in. And if we're not, we shouldn't be in it. That's what they're going. They're going like, we need to spend quality time. And if we're not, then that is not a relationship. That's not, it's just not like right. They're not saying it's not right, but it's not conducive for a good, we might as well be looking in other places if we're not getting anything from where we're at, type thing. So this is a key, I think, forward for you, for the Leo male, is to make sure you spend quality time. And I think if you had something you were absorbed in, you would. But you just have to keep that on your mind, because that might be something you forget. You get busied up in things again. Now, your block. Surrender to unhealthy relationships. This is your block. Let go of relationships that do not serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treated by others you deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So this is really, I mean, that's getting the most out of your life, is being in a positive environment. You don't want to be in a negative environment. It's like this guy's sitting in a negative environment, expecting it to change, waiting for it to change, in numbness, but not realizing he has the power. They're like, that's not a Leo. Leo knows he has the power and he makes decisions. So we're just in a rut. We've gotten out of it. We're kind of pushed to see the truth. And now we got to start moving forward in a new direction, because it's really going to bring you to a better, you may not go anywhere right away. And the thing is that you just need to understand that there's a cycle here of unhealthy relationships. We really have to be aware of that, so we can say, yeah, that was the same thing I'm dealing with. You know, go over it, realize it, and try not to make the mistake in the future. In the meantime, it seems like there's a lot of, a lot of stress and anxiety, a lot of draining stuff going on for these Leos, especially this male in a couple. A lot of draining stuff here that I guess has come to a head, and it's just gotta go. So your block is unhealthy relationships. You need to spend more quality time with those you love, and I think things will get better through that. So hopefully that helps you out. In the meantime, oh, Shauna out. That was the Leo male in a coupled relationship. That was the last read of the day. So I am very thankful. I am 3/4 of the way through here. So we got through Virgo and Leo tonight. And it looks like Taurus and Aquarius are going to be the last. Tomorrow night will be my last of the series. So we will go through their love blocks in the end here. So tomorrow night, if anything happens, I don't come through. Hopefully I'll come through here. I've got a lot of stuff going on, but this is a priority. So unless something weird happens, I should be on, and I'll give notification. Same time, same place. And we'll get the last two. So Aquarius and Taurus for tomorrow night. I might come in a little early, but if I do, I will announce it so that everyone is aware. Try about 2 to 3 hours in advance. So hopefully these are helping people. Feel free to comment if it did. All I have to say is, yeah, this helped me out. I figured some things out through this or whatever, so that I know that, it made a difference. It means a lot. I don't have to hear your whole story, but so yeah. So for the Virgos and the Leos, take care. Have a good evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Have fun and be kind.